What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Today's video is a week, I think we're up to 206 now of my transformation to rewind my health from a morbidly obese weight to a healthy weight, living a keto, low carb, high protein lifestyle. I do want to say I'm not a medical doctor, not a healthcare expert. This is just my story, and this is what I'm doing. So today's video is going to be about the past week. I've been doing a lot of alternate day fasting, and I officially got on the scale after probably at least a 6-month break. Pulled that sucker out of the closet, got the dust off of it, and got a weigh-in. So I will be resuming weekly weigh-ins again, and why. So that's at the end of the video. So anyways, let's jump into today's video. Okay, first things first, I was doing alternate day fasting with my dad all last week. For more details on that, I'll link the cards right here. Basically, my tips on how I'm doing it and that kind of thing. Essentially, every other day was either a fast or an eat day. So, and that would turn into about a 36 to a 39 hour fast, depending when I broke the fast. And I was doing a clear liquids fast, where I was only doing water with electrolytes, black or unsweetened coffee, unsweetened teas, unsweetened sparkling waters, that kind of thing. And again, this was all just my experience, but I thought after the past week, I would go over some things that I noticed, and these are additional tips from the last week's video on how I'm basically going through alternate day fasting with success. So the first thing is, when you're fasting, you're a little bit more, you're kind of dialed in a little bit more. And I noticed as I'm scrolling on my phone, how much food and products are like in my face. But in general, all social media platforms, the overwhelming amount of food that's in your face is pretty alarming. So as someone who is fasting, I had to get off of all social media. Like, I needed to step away, put the phone down, and go find something else to do, because the mindless scrolling was all food, and that just stimulates me wanting to eat or go make that recipe or try this, or so I would say if you're on a weight loss journey in general, not even just alternate day fasting, maybe unfollow or just get off of social media and bring it down to like a bare minimum while you're doing it, because it is real hard to stay focused when all the good things are in your face and you're like, oh man, I'd really like brownies right now. Brownies weren't even on the agenda, but you just saw brownies and now you want brownies, that kind of thing. So I found that I just had to put the phone down last week and do something else. So, but when I didn't really notice how much food comes in my feed until you were like hungry. So I was like, wow, there's a lot here. So I unfollowed a lot of stuff, and then I just literally put the phone down. In times where I knew I was going to get hungry, did not want to add fuel to the fire there. So the next thing is, in this comeback journey, my round 2 or my second chance to really get this done, get this weight off, there's a few things that are hard for me to do that I'm going to do now. And that one of the ones that I've been working on is asking for help in all aspects. Anything that you need, asking for help. I am not somebody that will ever ask for help. I will do it myself type of girl, and that's just me. But I found while I'm doing the fasting, the alternate day fasting, where I'm literally going 36 to 39 hours without food, I didn't want to put myself into a situation where I'd accidentally break my fast. Just mindless munching. For instance, when I'm preparing meals for the rest of the family, it's hard not to taste your food when you're going and, adjust the salt, like just little things like that. Or, making my kids lunches for the school the next day, it's just, so it's such habit to just grab one, right? So in order for me to stay on track and just eliminate any of that temptation, I asked for help. I asked my husband, I asked my mother, And when I was fasting, my mom was cooking on those days for the rest of the family, and my husband was making my kids lunches. And I cringed to ask for help, but it really did help. And it was something to just kind of embrace and take what matters from that. And it's always okay to ask for help. You're not alone in all this. So in any areas of your life that you can ask for help, take it and don't feel bad. There's so many people out there that want to help you. So just, for what it's worth, swallow your pride a little bit and ask for help in this time. Losing weight is going to be the hardest thing you ever do. I cannot stress that enough. I would rather pop 3 or 4 more kids out than do this weight loss journey again. So ask for the help and don't have shame about it. And the next one is, I found that when I'm off social media, because I'm not scrolling mindlessly, I'm not cooking, I'm not shopping for the food, I found that I had a lot of time. I didn't want to go work out like with strength training, but just because of the intensity of the strength training while I'm fasting, like I'm already in a deficit, I don't need to go crazy. So walking or doing fun stuff and like reorganizing a closet or something, picking up, taking your junk drawer in the kitchen and going through that, and tidying that all up, just finding ways to stay busy without overdoing it. So I cleaned out a lot of drawers this week in my bathroom vanity that have been haunting me for years. I got to those this week. Instead of lifting weights and doing strength training, when I went to my oldest daughter's volleyball practice, the coach was like, let's have the kids versus parents, thing after the practice. So I literally played an hour of volleyball fasting, and it was nighttime. Like her practice is 7 o'clock. So 8 o'clock practice is over. I put from 8 to 9 volleyball, but it was so fun, and it kept me not thinking about food, and I just made sure to sip on my electrolytes, throughout the day. And water. Don't forget that. But then also this past weekend, the weather was so good that I spent 3 hours playing softball with my kids. So I'm not talking about super strenuous activities. I'm talking about just, fielding balls and stuff like that and having fun, not overdoing it kind of thing. So, but the main thing is just you got to stay busy, and you got to keep your mind happy, away from food and preoccupied. And before you know it, you've got through the whole day, and it's easier than you expect. So, and then the next thing is, in the vulnerable moments that I would have, it's kind of when you are silencing the emotions that come from food, meaning, am I eating enough? Am I eating too much? Did I overdo it? That was bad. I shouldn't have eaten that. Or all those thoughts that go in your day. What's for dinner? All of that noise that's in your head quiets when you're doing the fasting, right? So then different emotional aspects come in, and the stuff that would just come through my mind, like, it's like, I don't need to do this, and the self-doubt and lots of emotions roll through. So as I'm sitting there, just in my own head, I keep saying over and over, and those times where I want to break my fast because I'm hungry, or somebody asks me to go out to lunch with them and it's a fast day, or I just keep saying it over and over in my head, I want this for me. I can do this. Like just having that voice that or self-validation or self-approval that I can do it and I'm doing it right now. Like just that whole process was a game changer in my thoughts. And instead of being like, oh man, they're all going out and having Mexican and I'm missing out, I'm replacing that dialogue with, I want this for me. I want to be healthy. I'm choosing my health. I'm taking care and respecting my body. I can do this. Look at me go. It's not that hard, that kind of thing. And it came in handy, because I will say there were several times where, of course, they don't ask me on the days that I'm eating, but it's the days that I'm fasting. Hey, you want to go this? You want to do that? And it's like, no. So, and that puts me to the part 2 of this, is setting healthy boundaries. My friends didn't ditch me because I wouldn't go out to dinner with them. That's silly to think you always have to go do all this stuff. You can have a healthy boundary. Your friends will support you. Your family will support you. And if they don't, they're obviously not somebody you want in your life, right? So, but they did help me get through moments where, you know, it's like, are you fasting today? Okay, well, we'll plan it for another day. You know, like super supportive, not a big deal, didn't make me feel bad, but setting those healthy boundaries so that your friends know what you're doing right now kind of matters, you know, because there's been a lot of times where I like to be spontaneous and people are like, hey, let's come over for some drinks tonight. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. But then, you know, that wrecks my whole week of work with self-discipline, you know, eating well, doing the workouts, you know, all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and I can blow it with just a Friday night. You know what I mean? So having those healthy boundaries in place and standing by them is going to make all the difference in the world. And that comes from not just friends, but all aspects of your health journey. Set the boundaries and stay by them. So I do want to say one thing. I know I've been guilty in the past for using extremes and going balls to the wall, and because that was like something that is with me and in me. And I was like, I'm never being extreme again. So yes, if you abuse fasting, that can be extreme. That can be over, like we'll just leave it at that. It can be abused. But fasting is a tool. There are many reasons why people fast. And when you use it right and you're not abusing it, fasting can play a wonderful role in your weight loss journey. It's a tool for you to use when you need it, but it's not something that you should ever abuse. And with that said, I'm fasting right now for this month, but fasting is not going to be my way of life. I don't feel it's sustainable. You know, it's right now I'm looking at, or my opinion of fasting, it's purely a tool right now in my toolbox that I'm using to get to my goals. And just like everything else, I'll get bored with it and I'll move along. But right now, I'm kind of into alternate day fasting. You know, next month I would probably not be into it. You know, it's that simple. It's just a tool. Don't give it more power than that. And it's not an extreme as long as you're not abusing it. All right. So now the elephant in the room, the thing you probably clicked on this video to see, I honestly couldn't tell you when I last weighed myself. I want to say it might have been the beginning of summer, maybe end of summer-ish, but it's at minimum been 6 months. That scale has been in the closet. I don't know what I weighed, never did. I knew I had been gaining weight just because you can tell in clothes and how things fit. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see your clothes getting snug. How much? No idea. So I wanted to say a few things before I tell you how much I lost this week in the official weigh-in. But the first thing and the most important thing is my opinion of the scale in my weight loss journey has changed as I learn more. And you can always feel differently about something you felt strongly about. And, you know, that's kind of where I'm getting at here, where, you know, fasting in general is just a tool, but if you abuse it, you know, that kind of thing, there's that gray line. Same thing it goes for a scale. Set a healthy boundary with the scale, have a better understanding of what role that scale plays in your weight loss journey. The scale is literally just a unit of measurement. It's no different than looking at my clothes and seeing, oh, that shirt's showing, you know, the muffin top today. It's no different than that. It's literally just saying, you're bigger, you're smaller, you're the same. That's it. It's when we tie or attach your self-worth, your success, you know, your failures, all with the scale, where that muddy line starts getting mucky, right? So I stopped doing weigh-ins, like the official hop on the scale, see what I gained or lost every week, a year ago at least. It's been forever. And that's because there were things about my journey that I wasn't willing to fully embrace and accept, and I did want to make the changes so it was easier to not look at the scale every day, to know deep down I should be doing something. I chose not to, and you know, it's just that deep psychological, basically tying your success to a number on a scale, you know, and that kind of just stressed me out so much because I'd lost so much weight week after week after week, and you know, after losing like 139 pounds, and then not losing every week and then starting to gain and all this stuff. It's just really made my emotions, I just wanted to run from the scale, because that scale gave me so much success in my life. And now it's not happening, and then I feel like the failure, and then you eat, and then you overeat, and then you gain more, and you stay away from the scale even more, and it just turns into this cloud of judgment and harsh things about yourself. So I was tying my success, my everything, my worth to that scale, and I forgot the point of the scale. The scale does keep you accountable for your choices for the past week. The scale does write down what you don't in your food diary. This scale is a pretty good indication if something's working or not. And the frequency of the scale also, like the more you weigh yourself and the more you obsess about it, again, we're at the extremes, we're abusing the tool, and there's not a place for that in a healthy weight loss journey. So I avoided it in the past, but I do feel like it has a place in my journey, as long as I have a respect for the scale and what the scale is, and essentially the tool to help me see if things are working or not. But the main thing is the scale does help keep me accountable week to week. It does help grab my attention instead of ignoring the problem. And that's something that you just keep ignoring it and it keeps getting worse, and then the fear in the scale more. And I just had better success when I did weigh myself regularly, and I owned the fact that I gained this week or I lost this week interchangeably, and that was part of my journey. And it wasn't until I started associating my self-worth, my failure, my success, all that with the scale, that I started running from the scale. But ultimately, I do feel that the scale does have its place in a weight loss journey. So with that said, I am going to be resuming weekly, every Monday weigh-ins, and that's just to help keep me accountable, and that is not for anything other than that. So what is that number? Well, I started the week off at 257 pounds. Today, a week later, I am 254.2. So yes, 3 pounds gone. I'm on the right track. Things are working. It's just one more unit of measurement. I'm excited. I feel empowered. I stepped on the scale. It feels good to own it. It feels good to see it go down. And it is what it is. So it's disappointing to see that much back on the scale after the last time I'd been on the scale. I believe last time I weighed myself, I was in the 240-ish range. And that was over summer. When I was really trying to hammer out the kinks of the weight loss journey and get my plan for now. So overall, it is what it is. It's just that. I don't care if it makes people mad. It's just a unit of measurement, and that's all the power I'm gonna give it. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's disappointing, but I'm not giving the weight gain any more power than it already has. It's literally just another graph point on my weight loss journey, and it is what it is. However, it's a good starting point now to see how far I go. It helps remind me summer's coming, I want to get this done, and I'm feeling good about everything right now, and I'm in a good place where I can add in the other tool of the scale. If you're not in a good place, I would not recommend you attacking the scale yet. I would still work on head therapy, emotions, your mental health comes in way more in the important scale than the scale, in the grand scheme of things. So that is that. For the plan for the week is alternate day fasting is just working, and it's easy right now. So I have been doing good with alternate day fasting. I'm not bored of it yet, so we're gonna do another week of fasting. My dad and I are gonna fast Tuesday and Thursday this week, basically the same as last week. Keeping your body guessing and not like getting stuck into a certain mode kind of thing. So we had the weekend plus Monday and then fasting again, day off then fasting, that kind of thing, so that your body's kind of just not getting into any type of groove. It's still guessing, and that helps keep that journey going down. I will say, when you're fasting, it keeps insulin low, it keeps all the stuff, so it makes sure your body's burning fat. And that is kind of like the goal right now. So clear liquids fast, lots of water, and I'll probably update you throughout the week. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic week. Remember, you can do it. Remember to keep saying in your head, I want this for me. I can do it. Look at me go. You know, all of that type of self-talk. So I will see you at the next one. I am Jess. You're watching Keto Rewind. Bye.